So, most of you know me. I'm Shweta. For those who do not know me, I'm Shweta and I'm currently teaching at Shvasa. So, the first 15-20 minutes I'll just spend on how my journey, okay, my weight loss journey, how it started, how I was diagnosed with PCOD and hypothyroidism. So, my from the first onset of my period at the age of 14, so my periods were always has always been irregular. Okay, so I used to get my periods only once in 2 months, but I was fine. I didn't have any side effects as such. But as when I reached about 18 years of age, that's when my periods was messed up. So I used to not get periods for about 3 months, 4 months. Then there was rapid weight gain, and then I had a lot of unwanted hair and cystic acne. The acne was so bad and painful that I there was no space in my face. And I'm not exaggerating, it was that bad, okay? It was very painful, like really big acne. And then I was like, what is happening, right? Because back then, this was now I'm 36, but then when I was 18, I didn't know what PCOD or thyroid. Most of us didn't know. It's just now that all of us and everywhere it's like thyroid and PCOD. So even then, I thought, okay, maybe because your lifestyle when you're a teenage, your like late night, your parties, your food, your junk. I was thinking, okay, it could be one of the reason, and I didn't bother much. But then I used to gain weight so rapidly. I've always been in like 50 to 55, but after the age of 18, I started gaining and it went up to 75 kgs. So that's when I thought, okay, there's something wrong. And then I met a gynecologist, and that's when they did a scan. And that's when they said that your ovary, the size of the ovary is large and there are a lot of cysts. And then immediately they put me on a contraceptive pill, right? So most of you, if you have PCOD, the first thing they do is put you on a 28-day pill. And when I started taking that, so the doctor said it's okay, right? The side effects are very minimal. You can take, but then it never did good as long I got my periods after the 28th 4 days you get your periods. But then I had severe mood swings and hair loss. And then my sleep pattern, right? There was a point where I used to not get sleep, and doctor put me on sleeping pills. So in spite of taking sleeping pills, I used to not get sleep. And then they were like, no, you're stressed because of your studies, because of your engineering. But truly, I was never stressed. So it was all the side effects of your PCOD, and then your mood swings, right? You just don't feel like doing anything. And then the first recommendation, what the doctor says is watch your diet, lose weight. But losing weight is the biggest problem with PCOD and thyroid, right? You struggle so much no matter what. Like most of you who have PCOD, you are trying, each one of you are trying with losing weight, dieting, exercising, but it's not happening. So then I started working out, and I was like, okay, I should do something. But then it didn't help. I would lose about 2-3 kgs, but then at that time I was from 55, I gained 20, I was around 75 kgs. And then there was time when I had to get married, and obviously you want to look good and you want to do everything. So during that period of 1 hour, I tried possibly all kind of diets, like your fruit diet, your fasting. I did keto diet. I did lose. And for my wedding, I was back at 55. Then again, it's not something which you can sustain. So just before marriage, I went to this naturopathy institute where they put you on a diet, right? You detox yourself. And when they did the blood test, there is when I got to know I had hypothyroidism. So if you know the values for thyroid is somewhere within 5, the normal values. And my reading was above 60, 60. So there was no value, right? And the doctors were like shocked, like, what is this above 60, which is like very drastic. And I'd seen people with just 6, 7, like really huge. And I was still okay. For my height, I wasn't looking that obese. But then they did all the tests, and that's when I got to know I had vitamin D deficiency, which is one of the factor of like for weight gain, and your vitamin B12 deficiency. Then After and when it was diagnosed more than 60, they gave me the Tyronorm tablet, which was about 250 mcg. So first tablet of thyroxine was 250 mcg, which was way too high. And then I took the medication I lost because of a lot of diet, everything. I got married and I was planning for a kid. And even then it happened, like I didn't have any issues. But then after, when during my pregnancy is when I gained drastically, and doctor was like, you can't do anything, right? Because you're carrying you can't do a diet or you shouldn't over exercise. So my pregnancy weight was 96 when I delivered my child. And then I lost only, he was 4 kgs and I just lost 4 kgs. And I was stuck at 93. And you would have heard, right? You breastfeed the child, you will lose weight, right? Nothing happened in my case because my thyroid was not balanced at all. Then and then that was when I decided, no, I should do something. And I was with a lot of medications then because thyroid leads to type 2 diabetes. So people with thyroid are very prone to diabetes very easily. Then I was on insulin resistance tablets. Then for my sleep, I was on sleep tablets. Then for PCOD, I was on contraceptive tablets. Then for my thyroid, I was on Tyronorm tablets, vitamin D tablets, vitamin B12. All this I was taking. Then there was one point when, I couldn't play with my child. I was so dependent for help. And then, I don't know, it just stuck to my mind. Like, I can't keep taking medications like this for a lifetime. And I have to do something for myself. And then I didn't have time, but then I made up my mind. And during that time, I took one picture, which was with the blue dress, which most of you have seen in the reel. And that was the only picture I took during that time, which I made up my mind until I lose weight, I'm not going to click any pictures. So, and I didn't. Okay. And then I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. I consulted a nutritionist, I consulted a endocrinologist, a gynecologist. But then I decided, no, this is not. I want something holistic, right? You can't take tablets all your life and live like you're just in your 20s and early 30s. And then I tried, and that's when I did a lot of research. I started reading myself about yoga, weights, and gym, and your diet, food. And then I slowly started applying to it. And then when I started applying, I didn't lose. I really didn't lose. But then when I read it, what I feel in my experience is your consistency, right? Your consistency. It's very important no matter what. Being consistent is the first most important. And one more thing is your patience. You try everything, and then what do you give up, right? At some point you give up. You're like, no, I can't do this. You end up eating junk, or you just give up. And these are your hormones which is playing because of your imbalanced hormones. And then I was going to the gym, and then with the gym I did lose considerable amount of weight, but then my stress levels were high because you have a child, you have a job, you have a house to take care, and then you're stressed. That's when yoga happened. Till then I wasn't. So 2000, yeah, 2015 was when I my son started going to Montessori. 2016 I used to drop him, and there was a yoga studio. So I started doing yoga. So when I started doing yoga, I it's not about the physical thing, but mentally and emotionally I was balanced. So that made a huge difference in my life, right? And my food cravings reduced. So it's not just because I'm a yoga teacher, I'm telling all this, but I'm telling because it really helped me. Then for about 6 months into yoga practice, I saw a lot of difference within me. Then I was like, okay, why not do a yoga teacher's training for my better understanding? And when I did my yoga teacher's training and I practiced yoga regularly, is when I saw a lot of difference along with my weight training and food control. So now coming to food, right? So most of you ask, like, what diet should I follow? Should I diet? But what I try to tell is don't punish your body. Like food is something which you need it. It's a fuel to your body. So don't call it as a diet, but call it as a balanced meal. right? It's a healthy diet. So don't try to restrict yourself. Eat normally, eat home cooked meals. So it's just few changes which you need to do in your life. It's not like a drastic change where like you have to do so many hours of fasting, go off sugar. No, whatever you're doing, have a portion control. See, for what worked for me may not work for you, right? So, and then that's when I went off gluten. So, gluten free diet made a huge difference because I had a lot of spots on my hand, like bumps, right? And a lot of people with PCOD have that. If you observe your arms and your legs, you get a lot of bumps. So, and then I left gluten. And then it was doing good because with gluten, I had severe bloating, acidity, gastric. So when I went off gluten, it made a lot of difference. So why I stress do yoga? So do yoga because people ask, will yoga do you lose weight? You know, don't just think of losing weight. It will, because your hormones will get balanced. That's the main thing. Your PCOD and your thyroid mainly is your hormones, and yoga plays a major role. And you gain weight because of your stress, your sleep. So yoga and pranayama takes care of all of that. You know, so at least give 5 days a week. It's just 1 hour, right? 5 hours in a week will make a major difference. Then when I started seeing the difference, right? So when each time I used to go for my scans and my thyroid blood tests, the ovary size started reducing. It's not like, okay, in 3 months, 6 months, it takes its own time. So that's what I want to tell, like PCOD is reversible. It's not that if you have PCOD, you will have it for a lifetime. PCOD is reversible. And thyroid from 250 mcg I've reduced to 25 mcg, which is a huge difference, right? So for somebody who had a reading greater than 60 and now the reading is absolutely normal. Right. So then that's when I'm just off all the medications. So from the past 2, 3 years, I'm off all the medication. My period is on time, like 26th, 27th day, I get it. My period flow is normal. So before used to have a lot of menstrual cramps and, mood swings, and I sleep really well, like, undisturbed 8 hours of sleep. So what I say is prioritize yourself first. We have family, we have work, we have a lot of other things, but you need to take care of yourself. So that one incident when I couldn't play with my son, when I was dependent, that's when I decided, no, like you need to be a role model, right? And then when I started doing my TTC is when I thought, okay, when yoga helped me a lot, why don't I spread the knowledge of yoga? So that's when I really quit my high paying corporate job and left it and started teaching yoga. I was in the corporate for about 10 years. And then, even when I took that decision, the family was like, what are you doing? How can you become a yoga teacher, right? Like, you won't get such a big check every month. And I was like, no, right? It helped me. And this was something very huge in my life because I went through a lot. That 5, 6 years of my life was like really bad, the health wise. And then I was like, health is wealth. It's not about what you have, it's about how fit you are, how strong you are from within as you age. And this is something, a lifetime thing, which you give to yourself, which you gift to yourself. So that's when I started teaching yoga. And from past 6 years, I've been teaching only yoga. And I feel that's the most satisfying job because end of the day, I have my own students here, so many of them telling, okay, practicing yoga is helping me. Doing your classes, I'm able to sleep well, I'm able to manage my anxiety levels. So yeah, so it's apart from telling like about yoga, why I stress do yoga, it will help. Just 5 hours in a week is what, I'm requesting all of you to do. And it's not about like, because I'm a yoga teacher, I'm marketing yoga, right? A lot of you have seen the difference how. So this is how yoga helped me in weight loss. But apart from yoga, I do strength training as well. as women, as we age, right, we need to do a lot of strength training. So that's when we've introduced, even that convenience is here, right? Yoga with weights. So you don't have to step out for that also, right? So the main reason why we posted this reel or doing this webinar is just to motivate people, because I come across a lot of people so dejected saying, I try everything, but no, I'm not able to do. But I'm saying that I'm a living example. I've been in the worst scenario with my health, with so much of medications, and especially with my acne was worse. Okay, I used to not step out of the house, especially during my engineering, because I had like really huge, I didn't have a space in my face, and that main reason was the PCOD, right? And then later I did take care, but then all I say is your lifestyle. When I say lifestyle, it's not just about your diet, not like, okay, going off sugar and I portion control. No, it's something which you sustain, make it as a lifestyle, right? And then give some time, exercise, sleep well, drink plenty of water, and your stress. Who doesn't have stress? Our lives are so mechanical these days. You're just running over all the place from day and night, right? So give some time, take some time to breathe, so don't lose heart, don't lose hopes that no, I can't lose weight, I can't. You will. I am the living example. If I can do it, all of you here can definitely do it. Yeah. So when it comes to diet, so a lot of you ask, what kind of a diet should I follow? So try eating at home as much as you can. So the main is your oil, right? Try to use cold pressed oils. Oil make a lot of difference. Even when you're using oil, we like, right? We say, okay, the curry tastes good if we add more oil. So reduce your oil. Oil plays a very big role because a tablespoon has so much of calories. We don't realize that when we are cooking. So take care of oil, your cold pressed oils, and check your vitamin D levels and vitamin B12. It's very important. Your vitamin D, if it's low, that is also one of the reasons for your weight gain, your lethargy, your knee pain. So check your vitamin D, your vitamin B12 if you're a vegetarian, right? You definitely have the deficiency of vitamin B12. Meat eaters are still okay. So you need to check that. So your visceral fat, right? Most of you complain of abdominal fat. They say I lose weight everywhere, but my abdomen I don't lose. So vitamin B12 deficiency causes a accumulation of visceral fat around your organs. So when your vitamin B12 is under control, the fat around your organs reduces. So you need to get all that checked. Okay, do it regularly. Keep yourself active. See, we blindly go, okay, 10,000 steps I'll walk, but still I'm not losing weight. I go for my dance classes, I'm not losing weight. But ask yourself, are you consistent with your practice? Are you consistently doing this? It's not about 15 days. It's not about losing weight for a wedding. It's not about losing weight to get a beach body, not losing weight for your birthday because you're turning 40 or 45. No, make it a consistent practice, right? It's something, your body is the only place you live in at the end of the day. So you need to respect your body more than you respect anything. So just try to control your portion, and your protein intake is another important thing. Make sure every meal has protein, right? So basically, you need about zero point 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight. So the moment your protein intake increases, your carbs reduces, you do more of physical activity. That is when you lose your body fat. Now, don't always think of losing weight. Yeah. Think about how much of body fat percentage you're losing. That is the criteria which you need to measure. It's not your weighing scale. Say, today I do 18 hours of fasting. Tomorrow I stand on the weighing scale. It will show less, right? Tomorrow you eat. Day after tomorrow you stand on the weighing scale. It will show more. So don't measure your body weight. So measure your body fat percentage. That is the most important. So the fat is what has to burn. And when will your fat burn? Only when your muscle mass increases. How will you increase your muscle mass? When you lift weights, when you eat a high protein diet. So you might be thinking, I'm eating only this much, I'm eating only salads, but still I'm not losing weight, right? So always measure your body fat and your lean muscle mass. So the moment when you take your protein and cut down on your carbs, you will see a lot, your metabolism improves. So make sure there is protein in every meal you take. So now all of you are aware of intermittent fasting, right? Depending on your body type, your apple-shaped, pear-shaped body, you do 12 to 14 hours, 14 to 6. But our ancient, like yogic sciences, years back, they've always told about the importance of fasting. So try. The main idea of fasting is you need to rest your digestive system. You need to give some rest. Imagine your body is continuously working for you. See, 2 days, 3 days, you might feel hungry, like with early dinners. Try to finish. So, more than intermittent fasting, what worked for me was the sunrise and sunset if you follow, right? So, try to finish your last meal by sunset and you can have the highest like the heaviest meal at the mid noon, so it's somewhere between 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. is what Ayurveda suggests. So because at that time your metabolic rate is high, so even when you eat your metabolism increases at a quick rate. So when the sun goes down, try to have your last meal. So that makes a lot of difference. If you haven't tried, avoid late night dinners. You might feel hungry for 2 days, 3 days. Have some water, have warm water. So whenever you feel hungry, try to have warm water. So then you know, is it boredom? Is it your craving? Right? The moment you have warm water, it suppresses your appetite. So it's not something, so don't punish your body. Don't punish your body with like, oh, I can't eat this, I can't. If you punish your body, then one day you will end up eating so much of junk, right? So make it. You can have your cakes, you can have your pastas, you can have your breads. It's just that moderation. You're not going to have it every single day. So try to incorporate these tiny things, then have water, sleep on time. Follow a timetable, and later your body is going to thank you. Initially, it will be a struggle, but your body will thank you later. And there's something because as we age, we don't have to be dependent on anyone, right? You need to be self-sufficient to do everything. So imagine like spending hours in in the hospitals. You know how it is now. So just few hours a day spending on yourself makes a lot of difference. And it's not just for you. And yoga is not just for you. The moment the yoga starts working with you, your relationships get better. The way you respond gets better, right? How many of you, your anger gets reduced, right? It makes a whole lot of difference. And then dairy is another thing. A lot of, if you are experiencing bloating, acidity, dairy also could be one of the reasons. So you need to see what works for you. See, don't go like, you need to do a calorie deficit, which means you need to reduce your calories, but don't do anything drastic. Do something which you can sustain, right? Say if you're having like a big bowl of rice, reduce it a little and increase your veggies. Even when you're eating, right, the order of eating is very important. Whenever you're having any meal, say your lunch, the first thing which has to enter your system is your veggies. Then comes your protein and your fat, carbs, and last is your dessert. So that is when your sugar spike is normalized. When you have your dessert first and you have your carbs before your protein and your veggies, right? There is a spike in your sugar level. So now you have, right, the one which measures, you patch it on your arm and it shows you the sugar spike level. So that is one of the, which helped me for like about a month or two, I used it. So say people say papaya or apple, right? Apple is a very good, when you're dieting, you can have apple. But when I had apple, my sugar level spiked. Whereas another person had apple, it didn't spike. So what works for me will not work for you, right? So the spike, so you need to see your sugar spike level. But when you have your veggies, protein and fats, carbs, and your dessert, so your spike, the sugar spike level doesn't go drastic. So that's how you control. They now you would have heard like people saying diabetes is reversible. It is just about your food, how you take your food, in which order you take your food. So you are eating the same food, but in which order you're eating the food makes a lot of difference. So try to just make these small changes and then get your regular checkups done. Yeah, your blood levels, your vitamin D and your vitamin B12. So make sure it is in control. So yeah, this is it from my end. So you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. It could be anything. Yeah, because I got a lot of DMs. Yes, Nicole, go ahead.
And you said that your blood sugar went up, but how did you check it? You checked it like someone who has diabetes?
No, so there is this. So here in India, we have a brand called Ultra Human. So where you patch, they put the patch here, and then it's connected to your app. They have an app. So every food you take, right? So your mobile takes that. Yeah, how the blood sugar. Say if I take rice, how fast the spiking happens. Now, say if I take a millet based, the spiking is lower. So when you take protein, it is normal.
And
So
it only
that's how.
exists in India?
No, no, no. You would get it there also. I will let you know. I'll come back to you.
You
Oh,
might
Okay,
need,
which brand?
Nicole, you might need a prescription in the US. I think this is on a, I think the diabetes patches are sold in the pharmacies, but I'm not sure whether you need a prescription for that in the US. It depends on that. You may just check with a local pharmacy. They're very, very common diabetes patches.
okay. Okay, thank you. And I have another question. Do you still eat
Yes.
gluten?
Who, me? No,
Yeah.
I'm off gluten. I'm off gluten and dairy because gluten, I had severe bloating and acidity.
Okay.
And I had these rashes on my arms. So once I went off gluten, I could see the difference. And I
Yeah.
eat little, the acne just pops up like this.
Yeah.
So I'm off gluten. And it's very rare, but I don't restrict. If I want to have, I do have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do the same. That's why I was asking because it's
Yes.
scary. Not everybody stops gluten, but I stopped gluten also a long time ago. And here and there I have, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Shweta, one more question I had.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Rupal?
you say
Yeah.
you say it is off dairy. So if
Yeah.
I was recently diagnosed of osteopenia. So off
Okay.
dairy, how do you do off dairy with calcium? I mean,
Calcium. So here, the highest source of calcium, like ragi and your sesame seeds has the highest source of calcium, which is more than your dairy products.
okay. So no,
Okay.
because the doctor recommended me to drink milk and the curd and cheese and stuff. So I mean, how do you manage that? Because that is what
s-
doctor told me, that you have to have calcium tablet and you have to have dairies, to
mhm.
get this osteopenia and vitamin D deficiency off.
Right, right. So if you want to go off dairy, the other sources are your sesame seeds and ragi.
In
Ragi has 10 times more of calcium
Yeah.
than your dairy, than your
Almost
curds.
3 years I have not been having any dairy product. Okay. And then
Yeah.
I continue, had the sesame seeds, and recently I did my bone density and they said that it's osteopenia and vitamin D deficiency. So I was off dairy
Hmm.
for, like almost 3 years, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I was not
Yeah,
taking.
but you need to take your vitamin D, which
Yeah,
is very important.
doctor just prescribed me vitamin D.
Yes.
So I am
Hmm.
that, and I have,
Yeah.
because this vitamin D in osteopenia, I have a lot of stiffness in my joints.
Stiffness, yeah.
Yeah,
So
lot.
the moment you take vitamin D, right, it takes time for your body to absorb the vitamin. It will take about for a month or two. It can be either in the drop form or the tablet, but you will see a lot of difference in your bone density.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Rupal.
Not even A2 milk. A2 is also not good because I usually consume, A2 yogurt.
Yeah, that is okay, Rachna. So again, it depends, right, on
It's
body to
lighter
body.
on stomach. It's lighter on stomach.
Yeah, it's light on stomach A2 because it's directly derived and there is no addition of other things. But again, it depends on per individual.
The person, yeah,
Because I had an issue because every time I take dairy and gluten, I had severe bloating, acidity, and acne issues. So once I went off, I'm fine. I feel much better. I feel lighter. Otherwise, I used to feel very heavy. And I had a lot of nausea at that time.
yeah, that's true. But A2 is
Yeah.
actually, we get it from the farm, so it's actually good. If
And
like,
then once I left, I don't like the taste now to get back, right? You're so used to this. So,
right, right, right.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Hey
whatever
Shweta,
you're doing,
and you
we are all consuming, or whatever you are saying, I'm doing everything. So yeah, so I am actually very happy. I'm not into, weight loss or anything. Yoga has
Yes.
really, really, really helped me a lot. So,
Yes.
and emotionally. So, yeah, very happy with
Yeah. Thank you. Yes,
it.
Sahana.
yeah, on the protein part, Shweta, so do you
Yeah.
take the protein powder or is it the natural way of eating dal and like for a vegetarian or tofu, those things help, or do you need to supplement with the protein powder?
In the longest run, I wasn't taking protein powder because before I was taking whey protein. Again, it has milk, right? So it used to cause acidity and bloating. But now, since I lift weights, my protein requirement from the food isn't enough. So I take plant protein. I take 1 scoop of plant protein, which gives about 21 to 25 grams of protein. Apart from that, rest everything is from my food. So 80% is from my food.
Okay.
So just
And
make
Shweta,
sure that you know it's zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram of your weight. Is that much of the protein you need to take per day.
Okay.
Yeah.
and Shweta, I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
this is Priya. So
Yeah,
I'm
tell
just
me, Priya.
asking, what should be the gap between when you take food and you want to do yoga? What time gap should be there?
See, minimum, it depends again on the kind of food. Say if you're having a light breakfast, right? At
Hmm.
least a minimum of 2.5 hours. So if you're having
And
your
what about the?
lunch, if
Mhm.
you're having again, it depends upon how, heavy or the meal is, but minimum 3 to 4 hours is what I recommend.
And what about with a cup of tea?
A cup of tea, yeah, it's fine. Instead, you can just have few dry fruits, right?
And with that, like there should be a difference of like 2 hours, or even we
No, no,
can
no. At least an hour,
an
an
hour.
hour.
I
So always an empty stomach works better.
okay.
So
I got
tea
it.
is
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Shweta, one more question. With protein, I feel
Yes.
gassy. So what is?
Yeah. But do you take whey protein?
No, no, I just take our pulses.
Huh, yeah, so that with that it usually causes acidity or gas because of the pulses. Anything you take chickpea, green gram, right?
Yes.
So along with it, add a bit of more garlic and ginger,
Okay.
and then that will reduce the flatulence and the gas.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah.
do you say it should be with every meal? The protein should be with every meal?
Yes, protein should be with every meal. It makes a lot of difference. Your body fat will reduce.
Okay.
This I can like guarantee you. The more you take your protein and lessen your carbs, right? Your metabolism will improve.
Yeah, got it. So it is just the pulses you get protein from because we are vegetarians. So
Vegetarians, yeah, your tofu, your paneer,
okay, got it.
all right? So you should also remember, so when you take pulses, your dal, more than protein, it also has high carb content.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you just have to balance. Just because it's protein, don't go overboard with So you can take more of paneer and tofu.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Paneer is not cheese.
Sorry,
Paneer
Nico?
is not cheese. I thought it was cheese.
Paneer is cottage cheese,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's
Cottage cheese.
cottage
Ah,
cheese.
okay.
Yes.
I have another question.
Yes,
The
Nico.
weight exercise that do you do free weights or you go somewhere with machines?
So I do yoga with weights,
Okay.
and I also do like with the machines as well.
Okay.
So because when you lose a lot of weight, what happens? Your skin starts sagging, right? So you need. So that's when, but yoga also plays a lot of role because with your vinyasa, so many chaturangas, there's nothing better than that, right? Your upper body strength, your core strength, all that. Yeah. Any more questions? Any doubts? All good. Please. Yeah.
There's a weight loss class tomorrow, Shweta. Maybe we should.
So there's a weight loss class tomorrow by Patanjali. So join the class. Okay. So, and more than that, not just tomorrow, but make sure you practice yoga. If possible, I would say 7 days a week. If you can give 1 hour for yourself, nothing like that. Yoga is definitely slow, but there's nothing like yoga. There's no looking back. And there's like so many people, right? It's changed. It's changed, not just physically or mentally, emotionally. And for somebody who has actually gone through and seen a lot of difference, it works. So that's the only reason I started teaching yoga, and now I just teach yoga. I don't want to like get back to anything else.
And
So,
yoga is good also for osteoporosis.
yeah.
You know, for the bone density, it's also
Yes.
good for that.
And it is safe, right? You can practice it however old you
Exactly.
grow, right?
Yeah.
It's
So,
safe.
so how important is pranayama, Shweta? Because we tend
Yeah.
to do 1 hour of yoga, but the 20 minutes of pranayama we kind of tend to not prioritize.
Yes. So when you have PCOD and your thyroid, you have severe mood swings. You have a lot of mood swings, and then even you're prone to a lot of migraines, right? Your headaches and you're lethargic and your sleep. So practicing pranayama will help all this. So see, practicing pranayama, your sleep gets better, your stress and anxiety gets better, right? So what happens when you practice pranayama, the moment you focus on breathing, your stress levels, your anxiety levels. So people with PCOD have have a lot of depression, unknown depression, anxiety, and you're prone to a lot of anxiety when you have PCOD. It's just your hormones playing with you. So pranayama, practicing every breathing technique will help to counter this and reduce the stress levels. So that's how pranayama helps. So it's not just your asana practice, but pranayama plays a major role, and even your yoga nidra, right? Because you're becoming aware of your entire body. So just the awareness of your own self makes a lot of difference. So that's how your stress levels improve. And it is not just you're doing it scientifically proven. When you do pranayama, the brain waves. So there was a recent study which shows how each pranayama works with your neurotransmitters, your nervous system. So there was a study which shows like a normal person who doesn't do it and a person who practices. So it is scientifically proven. So your pranayama and yoga nidra also is very important along with your asana practice.
Shweta, you had once told me something about, in the morning you have some warm water and then you
Yeah,
have Ascot juice or something.
yeah.
What, really,
So
tell me a little
yeah,
bit about how you break that fast in the morning after you sleep.
yeah. So I generally do about 12 to 14 hours of intermittent fasting. It was intermittent, but I started long time back, like way back when I didn't know it was intermittent fasting, just to make sure, because I felt good with fasting. So I break my fast. First thing I have water, lime, and rock salt, your pink salt, because this will bring back your electrolytes. Because so many hours, there's nothing in your system, there's no water in your system, right? So this will energize you. So the moment you wake up, this electrolyte water, rock salt and lime and warm water makes a lot of difference, because your body, if you've heard of acidic, alkaline, your pH levels. So this will balance. That's first thing. Then the second thing, after about 10 to 15 minutes, I take the ash god juice. So ash god is the big pumpkin, white pumpkin. It is known as the highest sattvic food. So Thyronorm I take it early, first thing, and then after about 10 minutes to 15 minutes, it's rock salt water with lime, and then a 10 or 15-minute break, your ash god juice. So ash god is the highest sattvic vegetable available. No other vegetable has the highest prana. So every vegetable you would have heard, right? Onions, garlic, underground vegetables, many of them avoid during certain months. So it's because of the prana, the energy which has. So when you have garlic, when you have onions, you're lethargic. Your mood is very different when you have, because it makes you heavy. But ash god is the highest pranic food. So when you have a glass of ashgod juice with pepper and rock salt, because it has a highest cooling agent as well. So it gives you a lot of energy. So it makes a lot of difference, and also it is diuretic. When I mean diuretic, if you have water retention, right? We face water retention, sometimes bloating. So it helps to clear all that. So you can have first in the morning before you take anything, and also you can also have jeera, ajwain, and fennel seed water. So if you have anything with digestion, bloating, constipation, you can have this water, or you can just grind them and have a teaspoon of it before sleep. So that will help to relieve your constipation, bloating, acidity. So, it's all available naturally. You don't have to go for supplements. See, your vitamin D, yes, you have to take a supplement, right? Because of the weather conditions. But rest, everything is available in our food, and it is easily available. So try this ashgod juice just for like about 10 to 15 days. But since it's very cold in the US now, try to add pepper and rock salt and have it. Start with a small glass. You will see a lot of it's also a mood enhancing drink, and it has the highest prana. So if you take your brinjals, right, the eggplant, it is the lowest pranic food. So you have to feel the difference every time you take the food. See, that's why I say worship your food, enjoy your food. Every food you intake, it directly impacts you, how you feel, your mood. So see, when you have a heavy meal, how you feel. When you have a light food, how you feel. So just observe, even with vegetables. So try this. It makes a lot of difference.
All right. Thank you.